should get around to watching Ruby at some point. I know a certain Hedgie wants me to. Speaking of my friends, I should definitely go and find a way out of this place. I want to be able to get out of here soon, but something tells me that this is going to take a while. Guess it's just off into the darkness I go to be the light. Well, it's been 2 days since I've got trapped in my TV and some no-nonsense AI tried to kill me by sending anime goals after me. Just a normal Monday, I guess. But I do wish I can go back home right now because I will be just sitting back, drink on standby, and watching some loser online talk about how Sonic 3 is corrupting today's youth. What would I give to go back to that? Well, good thing I have this with me. I recorded all my thoughts on this machine right here. Yo, what's going on, guys? It's your boy, TheGamingTrouge here. Gosh, my voice sounds stupid. I couldn't stay away for long. This is the Sonic Hot Takes video number 3. 3 times in a row now I've talked about the hottest Sonic takes, and today's no exception. Except for this time, we recorded all of this over on my Twitch page at twitch.tv/TheGamingTrouge during a charity livestream event, and we had such a great time. But it was also one of the most longest hot takes video recordings ever, so I recommend watching the entire VOD down below to get the full type of experience of us basically reacting to all these different hot takes, from friends of the community to YouTubers that I just don't know if they'll ever even care about watching this video or not. But hey, let's get into it. Would you like to share your Sonic hot takes if you have any?
Okay, I have one that is going to be it's very spicy, I'll say.
Oh, why out into the fire? Why? Okay, what do we got?
Labyrinth Zone wasn't that bad.
That's
because I know what bad really is.
Oh, do you now? Did you see the last True Stash video? No, I don't know why Koma was saying that this game, that Sonic Blast was like, oh come on, I can't do anything with this AI.
Yeah, Sonic Blast. I know what's. Listen, people say all the time that Labyrinth Zone is bad. Don't get me wrong, I'm not saying it's good. But you haven't seen Utter Misery and the Home for Infinite Losers as much as you've played Bloomerang Zone on Sonic Blast for the Game Gear.
But is it still better than Shadow the Hedgehog?
No, that's fucking crazy.
Yeah, we have limitations here.
Shadow the Hedgehog is, it's a trip. Not what I can recommend, but it's a trip.
That's, well, like, you guys have to take into account Labyrinth Zone is just a single level that you don't have to play 10 times. The only time you have to play it 10 times is whenever you are, like, me and playing the Sonic, the Sonic Origins, where you have infinite lives. Because Luna has seen me firsthand lose it at Labyrinth Zone multiple times.
The best 2D Sonic game is Sonic Rush Adventure, because there is so much that went into that game.
I've never played the Rush game, so I don't have a strong opinion on them. I never played it. I had a DS, I just never got around to playing it. For like, to kind of put you in my perspective, as a kid, I got DS games just willy-nilly from my mom. So, like, if we were out at Walmart, we'll come for groceries and we'll come back with, like, Drawn to Life, Scribble Knots, Brain Age was one of the games I got in that, like, random, like, pick. And so, like, Sonic was always one I wanted to try. The box all looked cool. But the time I saw it, it was going for, like, 40 bucks. I'm like, no way. I'm not spending 40 bucks as a, like, teenager that didn't have money at the time.
You know, that tracks, but hey, at least he played Drawn to Life. At least he played Peak.
Yeah.
And,
Luna, what is your 3 Sonic hot takes? What is the 3 hot takes that you just have that is just so spicy it will make, like, Cheetos, like, spice, like, weak?
Alright,
I don't know why I was going with that.
Alright, I'll start with the first one. Number one, I think that if it weren't for the fact that the gameplay wasn't that good, I think Secret Rings and Black Knight would have been good games overall.
Thank you! Thank you!
So it does bring me
I was
good
happy.
hopes that there is someone there, a fan out there that's making a fan project with Secret Rings. I don't know about you guys, but I can tolerate Sonic Spinball Options music.
Options mean the second thing that pops up after Spinball.
That's
What
crazy.
the heck just happened to my computer?
So I would recommend lowering down your thing because I don't want you to hurt your ears.
Yeah, I did
It
try
is
to.
loud.
It is 100% loud. It's like going to like negative 35 on the decibels. I played it, I was like, oh crap, it's this music.
All right. I don't know if the chat's gonna be able to handle this. I don't know, but I think the English dub of Sonic X is better than Sad AM. Bite me.
Oh yes! Finally, someone gets it. I'm sorry. I've after going through copyright pain with Sonic X, I'm so glad someone actually agrees with me that Sonic X, both the sub and the dub, are great.
You know, I was thinking I would get more of a contrarian side on the Sad AM side, but interestingly enough, not really, unless Chad has said something.
Chat said, yeah, maybe. We got, them going, and then we have Tenwick in the Twitch chat going, ha 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 ha. So, we do have, Ethan here in the side chat. You guys probably know them for making the artwork you've seen for the Shadow the Hedgehog video, as well as the thumbnail for the Blaze Blue video, as well as the PNGs you've been seeing lately on live streams. So, hopefully you're doing good, brother. How are you doing today?
I've been good. I was rushing to get my clothes outside to dry before I got here.
Country speed run any percent?
You got
I got 90.
You gotta hit the BLJ to, like, backwards lawn jump and glitch through the washing machine and into the dryer. 3 hot takes that are so hot it will make a volcano that Sonic and Shadow fought in seem like an ice sculpture.
Out of all of the... I think Jet is the weakest of Sonic's rivals.
Ooh, that's spicy.
Because with the others, they actually have, Shadow, Surge, Metal, or even Knuckles. There's like something with Jet. It was more annoyance than anything. I think for like my second one, this would come from the storybook series. I think like Dark Spine Sonic is the best design of a power up form for Sonic.
Ooh.
That is a really cool power up. I do have to say. Again, that game does have its good spots. I think Dark Spine was like, whoa, it's like, who, we're doing this now? Okay.
My third and final one, Sonic the Hedgehog 3 movie does a better job at adapting Sonic Adventure 2 than Sonic Adventure 2. That's my final hot take.
I don't know about that one, Chief.
Yes, I like, okay, so here's the thing.
You're insane!
Boy Gold with the soundboard in the Twitch chat. But
I know this is gonna ruffle a lot of people. This is gonna be divisive, but that was just like I didn't know what to say, and that was one of them.
That it is certainly a hot take. I'll give you that.
So this is an anime influencer podcast called I forgot exactly what the name of the podcast is called, but the Otaku Anonymous podcast. And basically they do a bunch of different types of like opinion pieces and put them on social media. This was one of them I saw a day after Sonic 3 came out. So without further ado, let's just get into it.
It feels like a movie written by babies for babies. They're some of the unfunniest movies I've seen. And I know that is an unpopular opinion.
Okay.
I know I'm coming in hot. People love these movies. And I hear so many people being like, no, like, they understand the fandom. It's like by passionate people for passionate people. But it's like the same passionless corporate as the Michael Bay movie.
Do you think it's just for babies, as they put it?
No.
Yeah, like, this is one of the, like, most blanket statement takes I think I've ever heard in my entire life. It's 100% not for kids, and yes, like, the calling the Pikachu thing, like, I definitely found it was a fun joke, and I think it's played funny just in hindsight, because you can arguably think about, how without Detective Pikachu, there wouldn't even necessarily be a Sonic movie. Like, Detective Pikachu and Sonic 1, like, they came out a year, like, before one another, but Detective Pikachu made a ton of money, like, at the box office and everything, and genuinely people enjoyed the movie that weren't even the biggest Pokemon fans, and so I thought that was, like, more of a nice homage rather than just, like, oh, he's yellow, so he's obviously a Pokemon, and they're in Japan, so it obviously makes sense. Like, that's kind of the vibe I kind of got.
Pikachu.
Like,
Yeah, go ahead.
when it comes to, like, a lot of the jokes related to that, honestly, I feel like they were just kind of just being referential for the sake of just being referential. And that isn't bad. Some of the jokes work. I feel like some of them land, some of them don't.
Number 2.
Why is there boss music?
People who say that Sonic can be only enjoyed by one kind of age group is morally and accurately incorrect.
I agree.
I 100% agree. And, like, the entire thing with, like, again, they're using Sonic 3 as the example. Did they not know, like, the emotional weight of the third act? Like, even General Audience or not, like, that third act was, like, if I saw this movie prior to any sort of knowledge of, like, the games, I would have still cried like I did in the theater. Like, even, like, without the prior knowledge of SA2. Like, just that as a plot point is so strong, and they just, it does boggle the mind. It boggles the mind.
The example of using the Michael Bay Transformer films in this made me tick off.
I genuinely agree with Bird there, because, like, you know, like, a lot of these films can be enjoyed by a general audience. Like, they don't have to be specifically just for kids. Like, there's a lot of things that are made with a kid audience in mind, but they can be enjoyed by anyone of any age. That's why, even as adults, we still love things like Mario and Pokemon and Kirby and all that.
These are the type of people that are closed-minded.
So this is a video entitled Darman Darian Sama Sonic Hot Takes. Don Hot Takes.
We all know and love Sonic. We know Sonic Adventure, his first 3D game. And we all know this model. This guy was so popular, in fact, that he got a custom skin in Sonic X Shadow Generations. Yeah, this model, I hate him. I do not like anything about him. I don't like his block fingers. I don't like that his shoes look like trapezoids. I don't like the fact that his eyelids are tan instead of blue. I especially don't like the lack of melanin in his...
Can I throw him somewhere? Please.
No, he needs.
Whoa!
Wait, let's dial that back a day.
Recently playing Sonic Adventure DX as of recent, and at times I miss wanting to see the old models instead of the ones I have for DX. I prefer SA1 Tails model over his DX model.
I liked Amy better when she was obsessed with Sonic than nowadays.
Okay. When Amy is obsessed with Sonic, it can only be if it's taken not far, then it's fine. if it's like to a certain extent like it was, if it's kept reserved like in games like Sonic Adventure, then I think it's fine. If it's where the level of Sonic Heroes, then I think that's when it's a problem.
This is a creator I found before they joined Twinkle Park, and I was like, holy, oh, what's up?
I knew her before she was introduced in Twinkle Park too.
Heck yeah.
I'm here.
I watch her on TikTok and on Twitter.
I watched her on YouTube.
I found her.
I started watching her on YouTube.
Oh,
and
what?
on TikTok.
We got the Noah in the chat. Noah.
The other.
We oh, and they left. No.
I know it.
God dang it.
We got SPD. We got the their hot takes video that they've put out, and I wanted to kind of cover it just to kind of see where I stand with a lot of the opinions. They basically ran a poll on the platforms. I guess not poll. They ran a thing on their platforms to have people go and comment whatnot on it, and I kind of wanted to see it for myself. This is purely just based off of curiosity. I do generally love their live streams and their character design. They look amazing.
Sonic is an introvert. He spends most of his downtime by himself. Long time no see quite literally means he hasn't seen them in a long time. The biggest proof of this is his depiction in Sonic X. Notice how he spends most of his time alone, either contemplating or relaxing.
So I'm gonna leave that to the floor. Do you guys agree with that?
I used to.
No.
Not really.
Alright. Sorry.
I think it's just long time no seeing is just like a saying, like a catchphrase in a saying. It's like what every like character has. Like, see you next time.
Yeah. It's
Yeah.
very much like the cocky shonen jump type character who is like, haha, a lot of time to see. Or I guess Spider-Man is another comparison as well. He definitely, I could definitely see, at least judging just by Sonic X as they use as proof, I could definitely see that. But at the same time, I guess I could see a little bit of myself in it, and I guess this kind of goes back to what I said when I put Sonic at #1 on my Sonic characters list, because Luna, you freaking spam or like, I saw a lot of myself in Sonic, because I'm very much the same. Like, this post basically spoke to me a little bit, because, like, it's, I don't know how to put this in the woods. Like, I love spending time with you guys. I love spending time with friends and family and whatnot. But there's other times where I just want to be in my zone, be, like, by myself, doing my own things. And so I could definitely kind of see it that way, but I don't think introvert's the right word. I will say neurodivergent might be the right word, but maybe? I don't know. Just kind of a game theory in my head, so...
I don't know why, but I thought my brain went immediately to Sonic autistic.
I mean, not necessarily just autism, maybe just, I don't know.
That's just a theory. A game theory.
I'll
Sonic theory. Thanks for watching.
Silver should not have a traditional platforming game. Something more like Frontiers could work, but my mind is crossing Psychonauts and Gravity Rush for something around his moveset. I agree, 100%.
Yes, no, yes, no, yes. I have some thoughts about that.
I don't.
Go for
I don't know. The only gameplay we have is the Rivals and 06. The sniper comparison.
And we're not talking about Rivals right now. I'm trying to escape. I'm trying to escape the Rivals pitfall I fell in. My brain cells. My brain
never escape.
My brain cells are still trying to recover from Rivals. But no, so as I was saying, yes, I generally think that, yeah, like, I will say still have platforming elements. I think the Psychonauts comparison is pretty good. Still have, like, some of the platforming elements, but, like, being more like how, say, a game like Star Wars The Force Unleashed played. Well, like, you can pick up guys and you have, like, the white stick and you can just, like, force guys just, like, anywhere. You can stun guys. I still feel like having him have a normal homing attack will benefit everybody. I think that was the biggest problem, is that his method of attacking was not homing attacking like the other two hedgehogs had. You had this stupid, like, you had to stun them, and then you had to, like, throw the walk at his face, and that kind of does put me off when we play in 06.
Yeah, that part I agree on.
I don't agree. I don't agree. Like he should have a homing attack. I think like a style of like way where he can like lock on, but not like what the other characters do in a homing attack. Something different.
Honestly, an idea that I've always had for Silver is kind of have like some elements of Beam Kirby from the Kirby series, where the longer you hold down his attack button, the more he'll charge up, and he'll be able to use a psychic shot from his palms.
One of the things I thought of was like what like that the energy building thing similar to like Shadow in some of the games.
Mm-hmm.
But
Yeah.
that allows him to boost for a short time.
So, we've come to this. This video has been circulating through everywhere. I know next to nothing about it. And throughout this entire Hot Takes video, we've given our entire thoughts on the Sonic Cinematic Universe. But let's see what this guy has to say about him from a father's perspective. Talking about Sonic 3. I'm going
I see a banjo, we should be worried.
I see a banjo. I see coffee mugs. Dude, this guy looks like he's about ready to go to church. And this also looks like a full-on green screen in the background. I doubt he lives in the woods.
This guy looks like he's ready to make a political video.
This feels like I'm back in like my my olden days where I'm like seen in the countryside.
Dude, this is like
Banjo and everything.
he's got a banjo. He's got a Wallace up here in the top right. Like, dude, this guy is like, I'm really getting some like weird feelings about him. But
I'm getting like country person father, countryside father vibes.
Yeah, but
we should be worried.
Oh, it's 10 minutes long. What can possibly go on?
When a man becomes a father, he's called upon to make sacrifices for his family. And often these will be small sacrifices. Sometimes they'll be larger, though, more significant. And on even rarer occasion, the duties of fatherhood will require him to make the kind of sacrifice that, up to that moment,
oh shoot, guys, he's saying to subscribe. He has the subscribe button out. What's his channel? What's the subscribe button? I don't have his video up.
Oh wow,
shoot.
he's losing
oh
the
shoot.
subscribers
Oh
really
shoot.
fast.
No. What's the subscribe button? I have no idea.
Oh wow, he's losing subscriber real fast. Oh god, it's going down to the negative.
Also, we're talking about the responsibilities of fatherhood. We were talking about God dang Sonic the Hedgehog.
Yeah.
What are you on about?
I think
he took weed before coming here.
Like, if you want to talk about responsibilities of fatherhood, I mean, Tom was a really good, like, father figure in Sonic's life, I feel. Like, you can say what you want about the character as a whole, but at the very least, it's the motivation to make the character do the right thing. But I digress.
Incapable of making. These are the moments when a man must become a hero, when he must lay his very life on the line. And this may take many forms. Perhaps he's rushing into a burning building to rescue his child from the fire. Perhaps he has to pull his loved one away from the path of a speeding train because they've been tied to the tracks by bandits or whatever.
What in the heck
Or
is
most
this guy
harrowing of
going
all,
about?
He may be compelled by his
you're
paternal
talking about
obligations
Sonic the Hedgehog.
to go to a movie
My
theater
dude, you're
and
talking about
watch
a blue
Sonic the
fast
Hedgehog
hedgehog.
3.
A man must make sacrifices. I took my son
What
to see
are you
Mufasa.
on about?
It turned out that he didn't even go into the theater. He just walked into Mufasa in the theater. Mufasa. They walked into Obama as they were trying to go and watch Sonic 3. But no, this is like, oddly plotted circumstance to open your video. I'm just saying.
My guy, you're talking about Sonic the Hedgehog.
Now, a man in that
What are you on
situation
about?
would, of course, much prefer to be engulfed in flames or hit by a speeding train, but that would be the coward's way out. He endures
hit by
Sonic
the
the
speeding
Hedgehog
train
3
instead of
for the
watching this?
sake of his children, whom he loves. And over Christmas break, that is precisely the situation that I found myself in. Now, for the record, I'll say I greatly enjoyed most of the time that I spent with my wife and kids these past 2 weeks. We had a lot of fun together. We played football, we played outside, we shot BB guns, we played card games and board games. I completely wrecked my whole family in Monopoly 2 nights in a row. Wasn't even close. We took the kids ice skating. I was ice skating. My wife and kids were left dumbstruck by my gracefulness and elegance on the ice.
Well,
They
a
didn't say
minute and a
that, but-
half in, and this man has said Sonic the Hedgehog like twice.
How many,
Like, what?
how many minutes are we into this video?
we're a minute 34 into a 10-minute 21 video.
A rather distressing turn on the final Thursday of the break when my 8-year-old son and 5-year-old daughter asked me to take them to go see Sonic the Hedgehog 3. And I did. God help me. God help me. I did. Now, before I offer my brief review of this thing that I hesitate to call a film, I must first acknowledge, in all fairness, I never saw Sonic the Hedgehog 1 or Sonic the Hedgehog 2.
Objection!
This is just general film critique, just in general. Even to a more extent, video game critique as well. If you're going into something with the subtitle of 3, 2, 2.5, whatever, you should at least know what the first thing is. Did this man not do research before going into it? Like, even just...
This man... Sorry, go ahead.
Oh, so, no, you're good. Like, okay, so I'm gonna just side tangent. Again, sorry, my brain works like this. So, when I went to go see Sonic 3 with my friends and family, my stepsister came with us. Granted, she's never even once heard of Sonic, but she wanted an explanation on the movie because she realized it was a third movie. Is there going to be something that's going to tie in? I gave her the bare basic plot beats that happen in each movie, and she was already like, "Oh, this seems like a fun movie. Let's watch number 3." Like, someone that doesn't play video games at all besides Just Dance got a better understanding of the lore from what I assume this guy is probably not going to get.
You appreciate the narrative complexities of Sonic the Hedgehog 3 without having seen the first 2 chapters in this epic Hedgehog saga. Maybe the other 2 movies are works of staggering artistic genius that would elevate the third installment and lend it the sort of context necessary for me to have appreciated it and enjoyed it instead of feeling like I was being waterboarded with high fructose corn syrup the whole time. But I doubt it. I mean, this is the kind of movie where Jim Carrey plays 2 characters. One is the evil villain, and the other is the evil villain's evil grandfather in old age makeup. And the 2 break into an impromptu dance routine that makes no narrative sense but lasts approximately 87 minutes. It's the kind of movie where those same characters before the dance routine actually look directly into the camera and explain that they're being played by the same actor. I must assume, and I think assume safely, that there is nothing in the other 2 films that would make this one any less obnoxious
I was just trying to
or
let him
horrific.
finish. I'm trying to find a good pausing point. Please go.
It's just, this guy feels like he went into the movie, but didn't want to watch it, but he just, on his phone, but he looks up once in a while. This is what it's feeling like right now.
This is the guy that's in the movie theater in like the top right of the theater room, just on his phone playing Scrabble. That's just all he does, while his 2 kids are running around the theater.
I'm not going to bother explaining the plot of this film in any detail. I wasn't tracking it that closely, to be honest. I was mostly fighting to stay awake. This is the kind of movie
There's no freaking way. How did you call it? I was not. He said he's not tracking the movie. So why are you making a video talking about your experience going to the movie? You are 100% on your phone.
I called it that he probably wouldn't like. It's probably something similar to what I said.
It's rage bait and it's for the ad revenue.
It is. It's 100% wage bait for the ad revenue, and it's so like you can at least attempt. Like, I'm looking at this just from like a reviewer standpoint. That's what bugs me, and I know it's 100% wage bait. It's just, it's working and it bugs the crap out of me because, like, I know for a fact this dude does not. I don't even have the account. I don't remember what the account is. Don't go spam and harass them. That's never cool. But like,
I'm not gonna say what it is.
But like, I went and checked the account before downloading the video, and they didn't have anything to do with Sonic. They didn't have anything to really do with movies. They didn't have anything to do with like media as a whole. It was more or less just like a man's channel, like a man. And I'm like,
oh,
you're not.
Okay.
Yep, it's one of those. Yep, I looked it up, and yep, it's one of those videos. And yikes, it's one of those. Nope, not gonna even say his names. It's not even worth it.
Yeah, I'm not. The whole point of this is to never harass anyone, but definitely if you're going to review something, have a general understanding of it. IGN, Kotaku, Polygon, people that are like the lowest common denominator for reviews, I feel like, especially when it comes to like stuff that is like more Japanese than American, just to kind of like do that with like JRPGs versus American games, whatever. They can understand, at least give a general plot synopsis and their thoughts. This man's not doing any of that, and he's spoken to a camera for 10 minutes.
He could have at least looked up a Wikipedia plot summary.
Exactly.
Before doing this video.
You to the
make him look
point of putting you to sleep, but also annoys you at the same time. It's kind of an odd combination to be both sleepy and deeply irritated simultaneously.
Also, this guy's never played Sonic.
As for the plot, I can only tell you that Sonic is the good hedgehog, which you may know. There's also an evil hedgehog voiced by Keanu Reeves, who, and I like Keanu Reeves, by the way, but like every other voice actor in this film and most voice actors in most children's films that have been made for the past 20 years, he has no talent as a voice actor and doesn't understand how to act with just your voice. But he's famous, so that's good enough, I suppose. So Sonic has to stop the
argument
evil
can
hedgehog.
work to a certain extent with like other films. I don't think that argument necessarily holds water for Sonic. Like,
it doesn't hold water for Sonic.
Yeah, like you can make that argument for like 90% of the Disney movies that came out in the 2020s. But if you want to just like use it with Sonic, like I've heard people say that they want a fan of Keanu as Shadow, which I can definitely see. And a lot of people really did want someone like Hayden Christensen to like voice Shadow, not only just for his role in Star Wars, but in his roles in his many other films. And you could definitely have preference of what you wanted to like have voice. I still feel like the actor put in like his good stuff. There is some lines that do feel a little awkward immediately, especially on rewatches. But at least for the first viewing, I feel like he definitely did what he needed to, and he was dang good at it. And so
Keanu did a decent job. Not my favorite Shadow, did good enough.
For that version of Shadow, I will say he did. It's good at 10.
A solid 8 out of 10.
For that specific version. Anything else, no.
Yeah. And I guess that does also apply to, like, the DLC. Because, like, although he doesn't have too many lines, you could 100% tell he was just kind of just recording it, just for the sake of recording it. Like, the DLC for Shadow Gen definitely, like, it's a fun stage, and it's pretty cool to see the movie version in a game. The voice, it sounded a little weird, if I'm being honest. It does not sound, like, natural to a way. Like, it doesn't sound too natural. It sounded more natural in the movie than it did in the DLC, if that makes any sort of sense.
Yeah. I think it was just like a one-off thing where just like they quickly brought him in to record some lines.
his evil cohorts, that's the Jim Carrey dancing duo I mentioned earlier, from blowing up the world with a big laser. And this has been the evil plan of every evil villain in every blockbuster franchise film for the past 3 decades. It's a formula that this movie is not interested in deviating from. This is not the sort of movie that deviates from formulas. Now, if you're wondering why the evil hedgehog and the 2 Jim Carreys want to explode the world and murder 8 billion people in a cosmic blast that they will also die in, it's because the older Jim Carrey's granddaughter, I think, was killed, and now he wants to commit murder-suicide because life isn't worth living. Like, that's real. That's in the movie. He actually declares his suicidal intention as well. Now, if that seems like weirdly bleak and dark for a kids movie where the characters bust out impromptu dance routines and randomly break the fourth wall and constantly speak in internet lingo from 2019, there's a lot of that, by the way. Just as one example, at one point, Jim Carrey says, "Damn you, autocorrect." If it seems weirdly bleak and dark for that kind of movie, it's because it is. This is a movie, like so many kids' movies these days, that schizophrenically darts back and forth from being ironic to painfully self-serious to goofy to earnest and so on and so on. It doesn't try to smooth over these tonal transitions with good writing or performances. The writing is just terrible, and the performances are...
Okay, I genuinely can't keep watching this. Okay, okay, yes, to an extent I do, again, it's not freaking the best film. I don't think there's ever going to be a perfect movie. There's not going to be a perfect film. This goes beyond just Sonic, just in general. You have these different types of if we're just talking about it randomly goes from dark to funny and dark and funny. You have obviously never have encountered any sort of Disney movie within the past 20 years. You haven't encountered any DreamWorks movie in the past 20 years. If we're just going to use another example that I haven't brought up yet, Puss in Boots: The Last Wish. Without going into details, because it's definitely a movie you guys should definitely watch. Puss in Boots: The Last Wish it hits the balance of comedy and dark, and it's almost kind of like Sonic 3 in that regard, where yes, they do talk about death, yes, they do talk about murder, yes, they do all these different types of things, but at the same time, it's balanced out with a character that wants to do the right thing at the end. It's balanced out with complex characters that are not terribly too complex for a standard viewer, but just layered enough to have meat on them. And I generally just don't agree with this guy. He's not making too much sense, because even taking off my Sonic goggles for a bit, he's just not making sense in the context of just animated films. This is the type of guy that sat and watched The Lion King and probably didn't think of its impact on just anything. But I digress. This is exactly what Koma said. It's more or less rage bait.
I stopped paying attention to it. What was going on?
Not even gonna lie with you. I checked out.
I'm mentally checked out.
I started scrolling through Blue Sky as this guy was talking.
This is how interesting this Flicker is. He's not even interesting enough to make fun of. When I saw the amount of video responses and posts underneath this guy's video, I was expecting he would have to have some big brain stupid comment about Sonic 3.
But it's just a guy talking about who admitted that he wasn't even paying attention to the film.
Yeah, so
why should we care?
I'm doing the same thing as what he's doing to what he did to the movie, not paying attention to his video.
Why should we care if he obviously doesn't?
You know what? I'm gonna do the same thing too. I'm just gonna play Roblox in the background.
I'm gonna do something productive with my time and play a good Sonic game.
I mean,
I'm already playing a Roblox Sonic game as we speak.
I'm gonna suffer through this. We have 5 minutes. We have actually 9 minutes left. I want to see. It's so hard because he's basically again, just from just because it's animated and just because they have funny moments and it's marketed towards kids does not mean it's a kid's film. That film, I feel like, will help kids understand the value of life more than the freaking new Moana movie that came out.
Flings it all against the wall haphazardly, because these are all bullet points that the movie studio knows it has to hit. Because this movie, again, like so many kids' movies these days, is not the fulfillment of anyone's creative vision. It is just the product of a corporate algorithm. It is loud and ugly and obnoxious and disjointed, because nobody who made the film actually cared about making a good film. And they have absolutely no respect for their audience. I mean, this movie could have been made by AI. We are at a point. If they start making movies with AI, we would not know the difference, because they've effectively been doing that for 20 years now. Now, you might respond here, as many people on Twitter did after I gave a very brief review of this film in a tweet on the site a few days ago.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. There is no emotion. There is no anger. There's only the Force. What in the holiest of watermelons is this lunatic? Does this guy know what AI slop is?
I don't think he's seen how ugly we could have gotten. And number two, how the frick do you know what AI is? You look like somebody who probably
Looks on AI.
heard it from your friend.
This looks like a man that actually
AI generated video.
This guy looks like he could like dabble in AI. Like
that too. And and number three, and it's most important, very, very most important. If it were AI, then there would be some stuff that would be more perfect. You wouldn't even need voice actors. The movie would have been cheaper to make.
Yeah.
Right?
By his logic, it could have just been a freebie. I'm not advocating for all AI stuff. Support artists, support musicians, support everybody. But there is websites out there nowadays that you could just literally type in a prompt and then there you go. You can make it for free. This guy's stupid mindset. Again, I'm handlebars are off, unfortunately. You can't say this movie is made with AI. You just genuinely can't. With the amount of AI stuff that's came out over the past, like, 4 to 5 years, it's not this. You will never get this. You will never become this. What in the actual... I have no words. I genuinely have no words for this lunatic. This is where probably the video of, like... This is why all the video responses came out.
By far, the youngest people in attendance. There were multiple groups of adults. Just adults, no kids. Whole groups of them who bought tickets to Sonic the Hedgehog 3. Also, tell it to the multiple grown adults who got angry at me on Twitter for not liking the movie. The funny thing is that a lot of those same people say, well, it's not for you, it's for kids. Why are you getting so upset about it then? Why are you tearfully defending a movie that you claim is not for you either? In fact, one person told me that my negative comments had upset, and I'm repeating this phrase verbatim, had upset the, quote, Sonic community. Now, those are not kids who identify themselves as members of the Sonic community.
Are you freaking sure about that? Like, yes, most of us are on, like, 20s and, like, even to some younger fans out there. This bozo does not understand what the word community means. Community is a synonym for, like, a group of people. That means old people, young people, like any type of people, like just every people of every sort of thing. It's a community of people. Kids love this movie. Adults love this movie. It, like, just going by, like, review scores, it has an 88 on Rotten Tomatoes. And, like, so, like, you want to talk about like just adults liking it, but also kids love it. The theater I was in was packed full of kids. It wasn't like again, not to use Disney again, but like it wasn't like a Disney film where like there was like so many people, but like it was the right balance. The games are rated E for everyone. The media is for everybody. Just because it has a PG to PG-13 like moniker does not mean it's just for kids. It's a stupid old mindset that I very much disagree with. You can be critical about this movie. It's not perfect. I'm not claiming it's not. But if you're going to review it, at least try to review it with the integrity of a reviewer. Because that's what bugs me the most about this, more than anything else. Is that, like, he says he's reviewing this movie, and he's 100% not. He's just... And with that, I think I'm not going to give this guy the last bit of... not going to give him his last 30 seconds of fame. I'm mentally drained by that.
It's not worth it.
I apologize for dragging you guys into that. I was expecting some peak cringe, and I guess that's what we got.
If by peak cringe you mean literally nothing of value.
Yeah, exactly. And that was the final Sonic Hot Takes video. I really enjoy doing Sonic Hot Takes videos from time to time, but that last one really got under my skin. So I want to try something different the next time I ever go around to do a Hot Takes videos. But for right now, I need to figure out how to get myself out of this world, because I just want to go home, back to my